how's it going? I am going to read you some cards. I would ask first, though, that you take a gander at my signs. Oh, I really don't want to take my phone off of here to get closer. So, do what you got to do. But, please take a look. Anyway, so I pulled a total of 4 cards. 2 are from the same deck, and that would be the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. And they are The Crossing, and the subtitle is Initiation. And as you can see, that is a type of what appears to be a natural land bridge. And the other card I pulled was, it's the number 54 card, a 9 at 5 and 4 add up to 9. That's like the numerology, the numerology light that I'm doing. But I mention it. I'll mention the numbers, but I don't always say anything more about it. In this case, I am, because initiation means that you are entering into a new phase, but you're at the beginning, so you're a newbie, basically. But the 9 is basically at the top of the scale of whatever we're gonna do. You're right about to tip over into completion when you hit 9. So while initiation is the beginning, you were something else, like a novice, or whatever's under that, before you became an initiate. Like, there's always steps in life. There's, growth. And so the other card I pulled was Deep Diver, and the subtitle is Diving into a Task, and that is the number 10 card. So a lot of times in tarot, when I was watching other people do it and trying to learn, there were a couple of people that this one woman had like a dining room table, and her readings, I don't mind if they're over 20 minutes or even if they're an hour. If it can like keep my interest, who cares how long it is? You can pause it and come back. Anyway, this woman had a dining room table, so like a couple of feet in either direction in front of her, and she would have like 3/4 of it filled up with cards by the time she was through. I don't know how many decks she had, but she was just like, ta, 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 ta. She could read them forwards and backwards and up and down. So you really become aware of succession, basically. And so the Crossing card is a 9, right? And you like made it to become an initiate. Like, we're gonna let you in the door and teach you some, esoteric knowledge. And this is the 10 card. So, like I was saying, the 9 obviously tips over into the 10. I could explain that, but I don't want to get sidetracked by the number thing, because it's even something else besides the numerology light. That's just my own thought process based on some other stuff. So you see how I could start talking about that and get lost. I'm not going to do it. So we're going to stick with you've become the initiate. You're at the precipice. You're crossing the bridge. And so you're now diving into a task. Like, you're beginning a whole new era of study. I got a theme going here. So, the way we count numbers, I guess I am going to talk about it. The way we count numbers, we go 1 to 10, but it's actually, in reality, the numbers are 1 to 9, because 0 is not a number. It's 0, and then we assign it a number, or assign it a certain function in numbers, as far as like math and adding and sales, and I don't know how the way we use numbers. And I guess the 10 was just, you know, an adding tool. That's what I didn't want to go into. And I don't want to go into it anymore because it'll get all confusing. But it still signifies a move into a next grade, basically. You know, like you're not the acolyte or whatever. I don't know if that's the right word. I'll have to look it up. But you're not the like whatever's under the initiate, like whatever you got to be, apprentice or something, you know, like that sort of thing. And this is the 10 you're tipping into. Like the whole set of numeration is gonna start all over again, because you know, like the next number from here is 11. And you know how numbers work, I assume. So this suggests that you're, well, so does initiation. Like if you're going to start into a new phase is not always easier right at first. Like usually you have to learn all the stuff and figure out how to do it. And, you know, you've probably also been to school. They kind of do. I guess that's what I'm talking about, but they do the same thing. And so the subtitle I already said on here is diving into a task. And we certainly, I think, have a large one setting up in front of us. A couple of videos ago, I was talking about some pop culture news that's now getting some pretty wide coverage. And it's about things that are unpleasant, like on a lot of levels. And I had been wondering, like, exactly how much time is it healthy to spend paying attention to this? And I know that I mentioned that, like, in my YouTube, if you have YouTube and you have a channel there, you know, whether you're putting out videos or not, you have a channel there and it gives you access to YouTube. So I'm just going to give you a glance at what I'm talking about. It doesn't say it here, which is good. But in this area, I was saying that you can see the topics there. And it's generally like what I have been watching, and it's like, oh, do you still want to look at this variety shows thing, or this thing about frequencies, or do you want to watch something about trailers again? So the day I started talking about it, I noticed that Diddy was on there, and I was like, oh, wow, I guess I'm watching a lot of that. I really need to cut back, because the tone is probably not the best consumption to maintain high spirits, like a clean aura. It's just like, it's low down, dirty, funky stuff to be consuming. I don't think I'm going to get any kind of, well, I don't think I'm going to get any argument anyway, but I don't think anybody would argue with that. But that's a matter of perception too. You know, I also said that, you know, we're judging and having feelings about all of these things, which is perfectly natural. That is exactly what we're supposed to be. You know, that's what we're supposed to feel, something about things, and then process it in whichever way we do. And sometimes it's a positive thing when we do that, and other times, if you feel it's negative, you could, like, then yourself go into a negative spiral from the consumption of it, or just even the knowledge of it. So that is a road you could take. You could decide to take that, or you could decide to just completely unplug from it and go, I'm gonna just, like, maybe put the phone down for a while and go outside and talk to another human being. Like, or, you know, just find something else to look at on your little phone, or whatever the screen is that you're staring at. The thing is scared me. Oh God, are you kidding me right now? So, the thing is, I was looking at it and just wondering what I just said. And in the past, I have said that I feel like I get messages from the ET community, but not like they're just all, hey, cat, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. And they're not going to do that unless you have a specific mission. Hold on, let me tell this person they got to hang on a minute. Nope, you can't do it now. You took too long to get back to me. Sorry for this interruption. So, before I start doing this, as I usually do, I did some intake. I had watched some things, and I usually do that to sort of supplement. And then I also meditate. Okay, shh. And then I also meditate. I just to kind of like open up the channel, I guess. And so the meditation today, okay, well, first, let me talk about the ET thing. So one of the things that I look at daily is a channeling, and it's not always the Arcturians, but a lot of times it is, from this particular channel, Daniel Scranton. But today it was Arcturians, and what they were talking about specifically was consumption of whatever we're ingesting. I think particularly as far as what I'm talking about, like media stuff. So they basically confirmed what I was feeling, like, don't look at it too long because it becomes like part of you. You like get sucked into it. It becomes part of your existence. Like your concern it starts taking up more of your overall concern with whatever else you're concerned about than is healthy. But not entirely. Like, there was a level of agency that you have to have about it. Is like you have to be able to discern, like, what is this going to do to me, or how's it going to make me feel? Should I let it continue to do this to me? Is it true? Is it not true? If it's not true, should I bother with it? If it's true, well, then it has not veracity, not viability. Well, it's worth paying attention to for some reason. Let's put it that way, especially in the case of this stuff. But I had said I'm like thinking something more is to this, and so I'm getting more of that. And it's not a psychic thing. You just have to have the discernment that they were just talking about, and that case with the rapper and all of that stuff is ongoing. So it's not finished yet. I don't know the conclusion. I don't know what the result of all of it is going to be, but more people are turning up dead, I guess, which is not, I was going to say it's not cool, but it's part of the whole sort of framework. Like, this is a thing that's happening in our reality right now. So, okay, there's that, and then there's all of the other places that this happens as well, and it's not ever really, like, Playboy, mansion, locations, enterprises, kind of about the same stuff, kind of like a cover for the same sort of activity, similar, very similar. And if you can get what I'm saying, where I'm coming from, then you will understand that there's probably some place that sounds and is very like that wherever you are. And so, you know, it's part of like the whole, we're actually like a part of this on however we come out in the mix of the whole life thing, you know, like there's a lot of lanes, there's a lot of neighborhoods to visit in life, you know. You have a lot of choices and you have a lot of ways to deal with the choices, but really my point is that that's coming out, all of those things. There are things about like the Trump trials and administration that are leaking out drop by drop. There's just a lot of stuff that is coming to light, or seems like something's happening where something is going to come to light like all at once. And so another thing I watched before I started was another thing that I love was Jim Charles on the Hikolo TV channel on YouTube, channeling Elijah, the biblical figure who saw the light, like literally, and was, I want to use the word raptured because I don't think it's absolutely correct, but it'll work to convey what I'm saying. He like got the message, awakened, saw the light, and God was like, "Oh, you're luminescent. I'm taking you with me." And one thing he said was that we're all here to do this. We're all here doing this. And so get ready for it if you're aware of it. And if you're not, well, you know, I don't know. Like, you better start finding a way to get ready. Because on a subconscious level, or, you know, below our immediate notice, we are a part of it and we are aware of it, but we are not all necessarily going to be what Elijah called prayer warriors. Like, you can take that any way you want, but prayer can mean a lot of different things. Even something as simple as having your mind on, take one of the wars that we're publicizing right now, and just the idea that you're like, I would rather that not be happening. I would rather the unfairness for the people in the situation that are non-combatants to be suffering as if they were combatants. They're not. There's a lot of people that are like not participating in warfare, but and this is always the case with warfare. You become a part of it when you become a statistic of it. And that is, I guess, a way of you didn't mean to participate, but you are. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny, but it's also like, you know, get a gallows humor about it. My goodness, like it makes it so difficult if you can't like get out of the dumps about it. Like you got to be able to find joy in misery, or else it's just too hard. You know, either you don't want to do it anymore. I'll leave it at that. So it was interesting that I got those particular messages, and I didn't verbatim either of them, so sorry, but I will link them, and let me write myself a note so I don't forget. Where's something that is not my shopping list? Here we go. link, what was it? Arcturians and Elijah. Whoops. I don't know. What the hell was I just saying? There's not a J in either of those. Oh, Elijah. Okay. Antica? No. Arctica? No. Arcturians. Wow, my brain is kind of scrambled right now. And Elijah. Oops, that's not how you spell that. So Elijah, like the Essenes, for the same reason, is just a fascination to me. But Elijah spoke about being drawn out, like when you start to awaken, or when you, like I'm saying, start to notice like all of this stuff like coming to your attention that was maybe previously hidden or partially hidden or kind of hinted at, you know, and then, okay, here's the hinted at. The Q people again, they were kind of saying and like screaming and yelling if you were like, I didn't see that much of this particular thing publicized, but the ones that I was talking to were talking about it a lot, and it's not just them either, but they were talking about like this whole entertainment ugliness gatekeeper thing, and they weren't talking so much about the physical abuse stuff, but or not details of it, because you know they have the whole saving the children obsession thing. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to save children that are in danger of being trafficked or that actually are, but wow. So one of the other cards I pulled was from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and it was the Beaver card. That's according to this little icon at the top, and obviousness, it's an Earth Element card. Well, what do you think about when you see a beaver? You think they're gonna make a dam, right? Like, isn't that the first, or chew down a tree? Why are they chewing down a tree? I'm thinking cartoons here, okay? But why are they gonna chew down a tree? Because they're gonna go build a dam or a den, or they need to floss. I don't know. But no, they're gonna get to work. They're, you know, you associate them with going to go build something, and so diving into a task. And by the way, their dens and their dams, where are they? They're in water. That's kind of a ding ding for me. Also, up early in the morning, oh gosh, like I am today. So, I have one more card, but before I start talking about that one, I want to talk about the other thing that I do before this, which I said was meditate. I went to go do that, and I've been having some difficulty lately because I can't seem to tune out noises and people, and like every time I do it I think, okay, now's my chance, and every time a kid walks up and wants to talk, or an adult walks up and wants to talk, or my cat, or like other cats. So it's hard to just stay still and quiet and not respond to stuff. Like, it's been, I'm like, am I not supposed to? I thought I was supposed to meditate. So I go out there this morning and I sit down. Finally, my cat has been doing something that is completely good when I've been meditating. Because what happens is I'm either on my little deck fully outside, or I'm sitting at the sliding door that opens up to it just inside, which is fine. I can hear the birds, which was great this morning. There was lots of singing because it's been raining for light raining. It's been light raining for the past week, which is also fine. I like that. But the ones that nested outside my window here have been singing all morning. I went out there. I was inside today, but My deck is not huge. I mean, it's like maybe 6 feet from my doorway in total. Probably less even. It's pretty small. But if with the door open, I'm basically on it. What is what I'm saying? So, good bird song. Owl. The owl was there this morning. I don't know when they come out, and for a long time I was hearing it and not even noticing. I mean, I noticed it, but wasn't thinking, oh, that's an owl. Like, somebody had to point out that's an owl. But usually it seems like I hear it in the afternoon. So I thought that was really cool. But I feed the strays. I leave a little dish of food and water out on my deck, and wow, there was a lot of traffic this morning. It was pretty cool. A couple of them were gonna come up and let me meet them. They were gonna sniff my hand, but I have a cat. He's very territorial. I thought I was gonna meditate. I was like, oh, I thought he was outside. I thought he was gone. Oh, but I started to say he's been sitting at my feet on the blanket, because I usually have something on my lap. And anyway, he wasn't around, so I was like, okay, cool. That's one distraction. I think I can get away with it not coming in for a minute. But all these cats kept coming up, and there were ones I had not seen before, but every time I tried to put my hand out and let them get to know me, my cat just would appear out of nowhere like a dang bouncer and literally run them off that, like, not let them eat, not let me get a little pet, or let them get a little scent of me. So that was kind of a distraction, but it was funny. And the best thing is the first one, when I went out there, was this little orange guy with only front polydactyls, which I've never seen before. I thought they always got them on all 4 feet, but paws. But oh my god, sorry, I just had to interrupt myself. I saw some video yesterday, and the guy had named his cat Paul, but it was Pawl. Is that so cute? Sorry. Anyway, this little orange tabby guy comes walking up, and he's got like the extra toes in front, and he ends up leaving because my cat came running over and wouldn't let him hang around. But that guy, he didn't have the polydactyl in the back, so wow, right? Anyway, it was just a pleasant time, like enjoyable. One final thing on that. I did see a guy that looked like he might have been Sikh, the religion where they have the head turbans. But maybe not, because it was a different type. But this guy maybe he was a Sufi. I don't know where that came from, but okay, maybe it was a Sufi. So he was sitting like lotus position on a little carpet, like you would use for prayers for a Muslim. But that's not what he was doing. He was meditating, or he was trying to. There was a litter of like 6 kittens, and they were just all over this guy, like just throwing themselves at him, or fighting like right on him, or jumping up or climbing him. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm complaining that my cat's like in the background scratching and bumping into stuff. But thankfully he seems to have learned it. I don't like that when I'm trying to meditate. So now he just comes and sits at my feet. And that is how I cleanse my brain from the other stuff. So the final card that I pulled, was the angel number card. And it is the 0550 card. And the subtitle there is the eye candy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read the text there at the bottom, the paragraph. You can see there's like a bunch of keywords there. And these are new, so I'm just kind of getting used to them. But what I'm noticing about the keywords is I don't think I'm understanding their purpose right. Anyway, let me read the paragraph. Get some fresh air or call some of your pals over. Sorry, and I was just spitting with joy everywhere. My cat pals, come on over. Take a look around you. There is so much natural beauty waiting to be discovered. I pulled this yesterday, just so you know. That's why I'm laughing. Either you will soon become involved in an exciting new project, or you will go out on a date. Put your charisma to use everywhere. Spread your charm around. Well, okay. Orders received. I don't know. I think it's kind of prophetic. So, the keywords. Intuition. Well, I was talking about that earlier. Like, a lot of stuff coming out. Like, the Trump trials are going to bring out a lot of information, I am sure, because I'm not sure exactly what was going on. I just feel like something was, because that's just the dude's MO, and that's how he's raised his family, and it's the family business. And I have hesitated to call him a mobster, but he has those techniques a lot, and I really feel like he wants people to think he's that. Okay, sure. You know, a lot of people are like basically seeing stuff coming in. You know, other people that don't necessarily do predictions like that have been saying that, like, the road ahead is going to be bumpy, and it's coming from all directions, from, like, your spiritual channels, literally. It's like everybody kind of has an institution and intuition that something's coming down the road. Something's coming our way, and it's a big deal. It could be from the religious perspective, where people think the rapture is coming, because a lot of things that are happening are kind of predicting that. Like, biblically, I know there's a lot of passages where they warn about, like, the end days or what to avoid, so that when the end days come along, you don't end up having to be ended. But, you know, the rules are dated, and there's some indications that something more than the last times that people were saying it's the end times were coming, and they were not really correct. But the other thing too is maybe our perception of time is not what is meant by, you know, what we have seen talking about it. And that's why stuff has been taking thousands of years, because if you look at any of the prediction videos that are available, one of them states that the predictions have been coming true for thousands of years. It's just like a bunch of them are sort of piling up now. It's one of my... That's just not working, so fine. You want to fall? There. And then lately, like, the water's turning red. Well, that happened a couple of years ago. That's prophesied in the Bible. So, and like I said, the Bible's probably not the only place that's predicting stuff. I don't read all of the holy books. Sorry. No time. That's not why. No interest. So, I mean, there's reason to think like, oh, well, maybe these end times are the end times, but I also hear from, like, psychic mediums that those are not quite due yet. Anyway, it's instructive though, because like I said, like maybe you want to make sure that when the end times do roll around, you don't end up ended by what we've been told to expect, which could be not all correct, but maybe just just to cover all of your, butts. Clean up your act, I guess. And like, why does that have to be such a big deal? Oh, and here's the other thing too that's like kind of like feels end-timey, and it is like the relentlessness of advertising. Like, YouTube is a good example of getting hammered by advertising, because every time there's a pause or an in-between, they stuff as many ads as they can in there. And what I've noticed is, if my hands are unclean so that I don't want to touch my phone, or I'm just away and I can't get to it immediately, and a commercial comes on, it'll just keep playing them. Like, I've heard, like, it play as many as 5 when I've left it unattended, and I was like, oh, no, we'll have none of that. I ran over and, made something come on that wasn't an ad, but I already was feeling like, just like, okay, with television and radio. Oh my God, radio is terrible. Has been for years. Like, just regular car radio without Spotify or whatever, car Alexa or whatever the crap they have now. They were just like, oh my God, you had to sit through so many. So now I haven't had television for a while. But it was just excruciating. That's why I always recorded everything and just ran through so many batteries fast forwarding through ads, because sorry, people in advertising, I know it's how you make your living. I know that it's vital in business, and it's integrated our society like a nervous system, but I think it's gross. Fine, have ads, do that, but my God, don't pummel us to death with it in our entertainment, and quit interrupting at the best part to put your stupid ad in. But now it's just like, it feels aggressive. It feels like it's telling me where to go. Like on YouTube, it's like I'm just gonna enjoy something, and it's just all ad. It's like, stop, please. Because the thing is almost inevitably I'm going, I am never gonna buy that. Get that out of my face. Or the ad is just in some way disgusting. Like, there's a lot of ads talking about body odor and spending more time than I care to hear about butt smell on other people. It's bad enough when you have to smell it on yourself or a butt close to you. It's just like, I get it. I don't know that I could ever make this happen, but especially with shows on like television or movies, wherever you're seeing any of that, I wish that, and I think I've seen something like this already in place, but I wish that you could just watch it, and then if you see something that you want, you can stop the show and somehow indicate that you want to know more about that after the thing is finished playing. My God, I never want to stop some exciting movie because an actor's wearing a pair of sneakers I just gotta have. Like, I can't wait till the movie's over. Like, they almost make it so, like, I don't want to buy anything. I want to make all of my clothes from burlap and everything else I need from cardboard. Like, you people are just relentless. And I feel like that is something that, like, I know that ain't right the way they're doing it, overdoing it. And I feel like there's got to be a Bible passage somewhere saying this is also something that will happen in the end times. Like, ow, okay, okay, sometimes I get the incomings and it's like painful, little sharp object going in, but yeah, they're like overdoing it. Like you got us already. You got like you got the corporations. Like, you win. You're everything. Can I just watch my show? Can I have a moment's peace from you and your commercial crap? But that's just me. Now, also, shame on me for not being zen enough to not let that bother me. I got work to do, but I suspect I'm not alone. So, inspired action. Well, this goes back to like the consuming of stuff that is probably better consumed in moderation. So the inspired action for me is realizing that as ugly as what I'm looking at may be, the reactions of the people committing the acts, the people enduring them, the people observing them, the people interacting with it in whatever way they are, all of that is happening for everyone involved to get something out of it. It's not for me to say or even understand what that might be for someone else, and I feel like that's true of everyone, but people do have reactions and are responding, and just because the subject matter is ugly doesn't mean it's not there for a reason, and overall a good thing, because remember the Matrix and remember the role playing and the acting that we're doing, and this is an extreme amusement park vacation resort on Earth as humans. So like, none of this is really happening to actual us. It's happening to our avatars, and a lot of us are not thinking of it on that level, but those of us that are, in a way, carry everyone else that aren't aware of it on their upper layer of consciousness. But everyone is. You're not here unless you meant to be here and are meant to be here and are meant to be here to do something, which is, as Elijah was saying, to be drawn to something that, like, something will awaken you to, like, things happening, and you will start to see things in a way that is different from the way you had previously, and your awareness has expanded. And the more that happens, the more you remember that you're here to do something, or you feel like you have a purpose, and then you start to understand, if not like what your purpose is, in the way that you have to go out and do it, in the way that whatever you're doing is already fulfilling your purpose. So good, bad, or ugly, you're here because you're meant to be, and you meant to be, and you're fulfilling a purpose. So, because in a lot of cases, people are looking at it not that way and just going that they're bad and they're wrong because they're doing this. And I mean, that's one way to look at it. So beauty, it's in the eye of the beholder. Where do you find it? Where do you see it? What is it to you? That's a determination we all have to make individually. But I think it's a lot of appreciation. Like when I see the word beauty, I, of course, like the commercial applications, come to mind. But the beauty of that is taken out of it by the commerciality. Like, just putting the beauty products in an ad makes it unattractive to me. But, beauty also is everywhere, like nature. It's in acts, it's in behavior, and it is in appearance. And I think it's something that enhances our lives, so it's good to appreciate it. Like, it's there to be appreciated, and it's helpful for us. Like, if it's nature and you're feeling crappy and you can, like, get out of your house or whatever office and go someplace where you can hear birds singing, or little animals walking by, or feel the wind blowing or the rain falling on you. Like, all of those for me constitute beauty and are an accessible, appreciable part of the world. Art, dude, same. Like, literally same. Socializing, that's interesting. More of us are able to do it, like, from remote locations, or take an agoraphobe who can't bring themselves to leave their home. They still want to, like, see and meet with people, and if you can't leave your house, the internet is great for that. So that's a form of socializing that, obviously, for me, well, it's not obvious to you. I don't get out much, let's put it that way. So this is probably my main form of socializing, and it is for a lot of people. And flow is the next word on here, and it's on a lot of these cards. And I think it's just reminding us that we're in it, we're a part of it, and we can, like, struggle against it, or we can loosen up, go boneless, and sort of let the energy, the water, whatever it is, take us where it's going. And this is a weird example, but if you're at the dentist and you're afraid and you're clenching up, it's gonna hurt a lot more than if you just relax. That's an odd metaphor for flow, but okay. Potential. We all got it. And I guess we have to awaken to it, and that sort of, I guess, charges it in a way, like brings it to life, because you can't really attain your potential if you're not aware of it. Like, something has got to come on inside of you to make you even want it. And romance, well, your obvious take is going to be like a couple or people together in romantic love, but there's so much more to it than that. It's in, like, the words you say to each other, the way you phrase them, it's the things you do for one another, the desire to bring beauty into someone's life, like to bringing someone up flowers or taking them to a beautiful place, to show your love. I think that's like romance, right? That's one way to go with it. So I guess this whole thing has just been about, I feel like we've reached a new point in our reality and in our awareness, and our ability to shape that reality comes with all of that. And that is, that's a beautiful thing. But, if stuff gets too real, go outside and check out the nature, and listen, I live now where Forest is like a half an hour away. There's like a couple of lakes, like literally right down the street, and my cat is whining for me, which is cute and beautiful. So discern the fact that you can look at some ugly stuff and know that it's not all just ugly, and also like maybe don't take in too much because you might make yourself a little bit sick feeling, but you can cure that with nature. And I used to live where pretty beautiful stuff was not that close, so maybe you gotta like get minute with it, narrow down your focus, but it's everywhere to be found. And if anything else, there's the sky. Or sorry, if nothing else, there's the sky. Thank you and good night. Do look up, I guess is what I'm saying.